This is a presentation of BSRN, Box Studios Radio Network.
I do have some numbers, and even after looking at the numbers and looking at like the save percentages and stuff, I kind of came to the conclusion that maybe it's not exactly all about the player, and maybe it's just either the team or like coaching per se. And I'm not picking on Carolina or picking on Cavalier or saying anything negative about him at all.
You know, Jerry, talk about it. I mean, you've only now played 6 professional games in your career. Obviously, you know, playing in Toronto is a very special.
It was great. I mean, it was definitely it was good to be in that situation. Toronto's a great city. You walk on the street and basically, you know, a lot of people know who you are, which is good. But you know what? That first game was good. I had a couple exhibition games before that with the Leafs, and kind of got me used to it. So I got all the nerves out, so I wasn't too bad out there.
All these things kind of formulate and kind of like create the person that you can be, because in this line of work, your line of work, you can't just be a coach. You sometimes have to be a scout. You sometimes have to be a general manager.
Well, I mean, one of the things that coaches have to be, they have to be problem solvers, you know. And if you were to talk to my wife, I mean, the one thing that she appreciates about me is there is no such thing as a catastrophe in my eyes. You know, there really isn't. I mean, things aren't necessarily always going to go the way you want them to go, but you know what? Once you've had the issue, it's not so much about the issue as it is how we're going to solve this issue. You know, how we're going to get through it. How are we going to do what we got to do to move on.
And your favorite podcaster is?
Bobby Howard, of course. The only one I listen to. The only place there's no fake news.
And first of all, I want to say congratulations for being inducted into the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame.
Thank you. It's quite an honor. Anytime you get inducted into any Hall of Fame, you know, of this magnitude, and you have to look at it as certainly a great honor.
This cup ain't leaving, neither am I, baby.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers.
Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Back-to-back Empire Division champions, regular season and playoffs. Victory is a dish best served on ice. Final horn back in Nanimal, one more for good measure. It's over. The Black Bears are FPHL champions once again.
The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now, from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here are your hosts of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard and Taylor Welch.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. Actually, another season of the Power Play Post Show. I am your host, Bob Howard. She is Taylor Welch, but you already knew that because it's now in the intro. That's right, folks. This is season 15 of the Power Play Post Show, episode number 1 and episode 515. And this is the new show for August 14th, 2025. And Taylor, welcome to season 15 of the Power Play Post Show.
How exciting to start hockey sooner than the actual hockey game.
No, absolutely. And we are closer to the opening day than we are to the last game of the championship series. And so, of course, here we are. And I don't know, Taylor, I'm excited for this. I'm ready for this. I think the fans are going to be clamoring to hear the interview for today with Donald Olivieri, so I think that'll be pretty cool. I know we were supposed to have Dylan Konecki on. We'll get to that on why that interview is not going to be aired today or why it wasn't aired last week. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Taylar, how's the summer been so far?
It's been hot, and I'm definitely ready for the colder weather.
I love it. Yeah, me too. The mugginess. We had a torrential rain earlier today, and I don't know if it cooled it down at all.
We didn't get any rain at all.
Oh, did it cool down at all?
Nothing. No.
No? I haven't been a fan of the heat. I know you guys have been to some races over the past couple weekends, though.
This past weekend was actually kind of interesting. So we went to Thunder Mountain on Saturday, and the buddy that he helps out, he's almost 70 and he's still racing modifieds. But he went to leave, and as he's backing out of his parking spot, his truck broke down.
Oh my.
And we spent, 6 hours there trying to get AAA to come get him and all this stuff. He spent the night in his truck. We offered for him to come to our house. He told us no. The next morning, we were actually leaving to go do a meet and greet with the guy who plays Jason in Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice.
And he got a call that he was still at the track and that the towing company would not take his trailer. So we actually took his trailer home for him.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
And we had dinner with his wife and his one son, and it was a lot of fun. It was good story time.
Very good. Very good. Very good. A lot of racing stories, right?
A lot of racing stories.
Did Jeremy's recent accident come up from a couple years ago?
Actually, I don't think so. It was more about his buddy Jeff. We got to know him quite a bit and a lot of his stories and how he got started, and it was pretty interesting. A lot of fun.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, for me, obviously, this past weekend, I was up at the Rink of Dreams, which is up in Cooperstown, New York. Barry Shelley has a collection of minor league pro hockey memorabilia, stuff I've never seen before, stuff that I was looking forward to seeing. He's kind of built this kind of like museum in his house for minor pro hockey, and the Rink of Dreams is a really great thing. He inducted me into his Hall of Fame. Roger Neal, the former broadcaster for the Binghamton Whalers and Broom Dusters, was there, and he actually did the induction for me, which was like probably the coolest thing in the world. I was so very happy and excited about it. And I got to be honest with you, just having Roger say my name in his iconic voice that he has, which was pretty cool. It was just such a fun event. I got to see Roger Kozar from the Broom Dusters, one of the goaltenders of the Broom Dusters, Tom Mitchell from, the Binghamton Devils, Binghamton Senators, and, Binghamton Whalers, Binghamton Rangers. He was there. He was obviously one of the owners of all those teams. It was just a really cool weekend. Gary Ryan from the Fed League Fash went up there with me. It was pretty neat. I obviously put some pictures out there. I was such an honor to do that. And some of the people there were just some classic, 50s and 60s hockey players in minor pro hockey. And I don't think people realize you wouldn't have the NHL be as strong and the players wouldn't be as good as they were if it wasn't for the minor leagues. The minor leagues really have an important role in getting players ready for the National Hockey League, and it's an ecosystem that really does make a difference. And just to be a part of some of that over the past 20 years and to be recognized that by Barry. Barry, if you're listening, I know you listen to some of the episodes. Thank you so much for the weekend. It was phenomenal. I can't wait to go back next year and just kind of reminisce with these guys a little bit more. It was pretty cool.
I saw that, and I saw a lot of people were very excited for you. I also saw that you ordered a ring.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, which ring are you going to display more? Or where? Is it going to be the championship ring or your new one?
Well, that's a really hard question for me to answer. The championship rings, I might pull out every once in a while. Obviously, if the Black Bears, which I'm sure they will because they like money, I will be buying one again this upcoming year. The Hall of Fame ring, because I got to see it this past weekend. One of the guys let me take a look at it. It's smaller, right? And it fits more like a class ring on the finger, where Taylor, you've seen obviously the championship rings. They're big and gaudy and just really crazy. I don't think I'm going to wear that one as much as I'm going to wear the Hall of Fame ring, because I can wear that, and it's a conversation starter. Right. So I think I will probably have that on a little bit more than the championship rings. Not that I don't love the championship rings. They're great, but they're big. Can't type with those. Can't type with those too.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty, in your face.
Okay, so we've had some questions recently about the podcast. So let's go through the must-reads. The Power Play Post Show is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on all your favorite apps, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the conversation on Facebook. Search for Power Play Post Show and become part of our community. Be sure to like, comment, and share our latest episodes with all your friends. Looking for everything BinghamtonHockey.net or Binghamton Hockey? Visit BinghamtonHockey.net, your go-to source for stats, history, and all things Binghamton Hockey. And coming up on this edition of the Power Play Post Show, sandwiched in between two segments with me and Taylor, is Binghamton Black Bears forward Don Olivieri. And Taylor, I know that everybody is wondering what's going on with Don, right? And they're going to get a little bit of piece of that in this interview, but you might have to wait a little bit longer for that one question that we do ask at the end of the interview.
Yeah, I think everybody's excited. I'm excited to listen to this interview.
All right, awesome. Okay, so let's start off with what happened to the Dylan interview. Basically, the Dylan interview will be coming. Dylan reached out to me. He's been in conversation with me for the past probably 4 months about a situation for him that he really does want to be able to tell all the fans in Binghamton about the future of where he's going to be doing the job that he loves the most, which is being an equipment manager. He has to wait a little bit longer to make the announcement, but it will be coming. And I've been talking a lot with Dylan about this, and it will be coming. The interview could be even as early as next week's Power Play Post Show. It is all recorded, and unless something drastically changes over the next 7 to 10 days, which we don't think it's going to, you'll get to hear that interview. So I do apologize to everybody about last week. I did not want to present the season debut without a really good interview. And so if we couldn't have Dylan in that conversation, then we're going to have obviously the conversation with Don Olivieri. And obviously this is a jam-packed episode. I mean, Taylor, would you not agree?
Yeah, we've definitely got a lot to talk about.
All right. So let's get that started with the thing that I think people are kind of curious about the most. Let's look at the roster.
All right, so if we look at our roster, we have 13 returning players at this point with 5 new rookies. Do we expect another one, or is that for the...
Yeah, no, tomorrow should be another returner.
All righty. So we have our forwards so far. We have Tyson Kirkby, as we all know, is the first to sign this season. We have Austin Thompson, Cameron Clark, Zach Sirota, Gavin Yates, Emerson Emery, and then 4 of the 5 new rookies. We have Tim Kim, Zachary Desmarais, Jacob Shankar, and Cody Rumsey.
Okay, so before we go to the defensemen and goaltenders, let's talk a little bit about our forwards here, okay? Obviously, if things don't happen for Don and for Chris Mott to come back, we already kind of know that Kyle Steffen has basically retired. I haven't heard any. The last time I spoke to him was about 2 weeks ago. He's just enjoying his summer at the moment. And I think he's starting to kind of move on from hockey. We could be seeing, as a mainstay into this organization, one of these 4 rookies to be a part of the everyday team going forward. So that could happen. Yes, they're boasting, I think, 13 now returning players? Yeah, 13 returning players. But we could be still seeing some of these new rookies make get onto this team on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of used to getting, a couple new guys here and there throughout the season, and it always seems to work out well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
At least in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. Okay.
On the defensive side, we have Jesse Anderson, who was the second person to sign on this season. We have got Dan Stone, Cam Servone, Dan Weber, and Luke Dobles. So we have no new guys for the defensive side. Yeah,
and I'm a little bit worried about the defense. Okay, so now if Scott Ramakers does sign, obviously he could be the 6th defenseman. But I would like to have a couple more options. That's just me. That's just my thought process there.
Well, I think everyone was kind of hoping about the Bohn situation, but everybody's understanding,
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Our netminders, we have, of course, Connor McAnanama, Nolan Egbert, and the last rookie of Wyatt Friedlander.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the 5 rookies that we have could be the only 5 rookies that could be coming into this upcoming season. From the conversations that I've had with Brant, and he kind of fills me in with some of this information. I don't hear everything. There's a new guy that will be coming, but he's not a new guy to hockey. He's somebody that has played 3 to 4 seasons in the SPHL. I'll just give you that much. So kind of like a CJ Stubbs. Now I think CJ Stubbs might resign. So I think that's possibly coming. But there's a new guy that would be coming to the team that has 3 or 4 years in the SPHL experience. So I'll leave that to that.
And then we have the remaining players who are not signed yet. As we all know, the Black Bears and Brant Sherwood like to take their time with announcements on purpose, which kind of keeps fans on the edge. They like to have 2 to 3 announcements each week to provide content.
Now, the reason why I wanted you to read that is because, some of the fans I think are getting a little antsy because they're not hearing their favorite player being re-signed. And just for instance, in the last 3 days, I think Danbury has announced 3 or 4 people, that have signed with them. And the way the Black Bears like to do it is like a Tuesday or Thursday or a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They want to give you an announcement, and they kind of want to string that information along because it gives you content to look forward to and to read, where I think everybody wants to know about it all at once. And they just kind of like to spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's hard for fans to watch certain other teams announce several signings in one day where, we might get a signing this week or we might get to it kind of.
Right.
I think it's harder for fans that way.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I've tried to, maybe on a Monday, write an article up, put it up there, maybe about who's on the roster already, like we're going over right now. Or something to give the fans something to kind of delve their teeth into a little bit, because I know the fans for the Black Bears are just eager. They're eager to get, I think some of them would be okay with just skipping the 3 months of summer, like Taylor and I probably would. Even though I know Jeremy loves his racing, and my wife probably loves me being home on Fridays and Saturday nights. But to be fair, I think a lot of us would like to just skip the 3 hot months and get right into hockey season again. But the Black Bears kind of like to spread out the announcements just to get, make sure there's just 2 or 3, kind of like things that they can post each week to give the fans something each week.
Yeah, and we've kind of hopped into the next topic a little bit. We've mentioned a couple of the players, but I'll ask you about the rest of them.
Okay.
So you've talked a little bit about Stubbs and Ramekers, but you got Poirier, Benchich, Bernardo, Fletcher, Hapward, Steffen, Swain, and Tosto.
Yeah. All right. So those are the guys that so far haven't been signed. Now, as I said, I'm pretty confident that Stubbs will probably be rejoining the team and signing. Ramekers, if he comes in, he might be our 6th defenseman. And, I know there's been conversations between he and Brant Sherwood that Brant has talked to me about. Poirier, I don't know if he's coming back. He may not be coming back. He might be one of the guys that has decided to move on. Benchich, I've heard nothing about. Bernardo, I've heard nothing about. Fletcher's interesting. Fletcher told me 100% he wants to come back. But again, Fletcher was also the one that had a very hard time getting back into the country. So I don't know the changes there. I expect that I'll probably have an interview with Josh probably sometime within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Hapward is definitely moving on. He is definitely not coming back, so I want everybody to know that Hapward will definitely not be back. He got a great job Kind of like Connor Smith, where Connor Smith played one season and then moved on. Hapward, he got his dream job, so he is moving on. We know Kyle Steffen basically announced here on the Power Play Post Show he is moving on. Tosto, I think, wants to go back to the SPHL, so he may sign with Binghamton, but he also may sign with Pensacola again and then just go right to Pensacola's camp. And Nick Swain, I have not heard anything about yet. So the ones that I'm interested the most out of all these guys, because I think Fletch, if he wants to come back and he can get into the thing, he'll be on the team, right? I think Ramakers, he wants to come back, he'll sign, he'll come back. Stubbs, same thing. The ones that kind of like I'm interested the most because I really want to see their development is Swain and Bernardo. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Swain definitely showed a lot of good things throughout the playoffs last season. And even Bernardo, when he played, he showed a lot of good stuff. I have not heard the news about Hapward, but that's also very exciting for him. I know it's kind of... It's disappointing in a way that you enjoy watching them play, but at the same time, like the whole Connor Smith situation, you're happy for them, especially for getting his dream job. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'd say that I'd have to agree with you on that.
And if you add Swain and Fletcher and Bernardo to that list of forwards, you're really filling out your forward spots. And there's, and then you're realistically, now Emerson Emery could also maybe slot in. Maybe he comes into camp and he's sitting as, a defenseman. Emerson Emery could be your 7th defenseman and or your 10th forward any given night, right? Ramakers could be the 6th forward if he comes in. So the options I think are good for Brant, but it'll be interesting. But I really want to see Swain and Bernardo come back. I want to see what they can do, with a full season. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
All right. The league is working toward change and good change. Now, if you pay attention to Gary Ryan and his videos and some of the updates he gives, what's very interesting is the one that he just kind of brought up about a few weeks ago, which is the salary cap has gone from $3,800 a week to $5,500 a week. That's a $1,700 increase for anybody who went to school, with me, which, I had to pull out the calculator and do the math. No, I'm just kidding. It was pretty easy. And what I had heard initially, it was going to go up $100 a week, so to $3,900, and they made a change to $5,500. And you're probably wondering, why does this matter? Okay, but why? To get the league closer to the requirements needed to go from a non-for-profit status to what the SPHL, the ECHL, the AHL, etc. are. Now, some of you may not know, but the FPHL is set up as a non-for-profit. Now, non-for-profits, because you don't declare income to the U.S. government, cannot get those P1 visas, which gets, Nikita Ivashkin over to the U.S. For a full year, or Dakota Bohn, or not Dakota Bohn, but Josh Fletcher over. Josh is obviously the one that had the harder time to do that. What this does is higher reported wages will get some teams more to what the players or employees will need to report, in this case, close to the minimum wage in some states. Non-for-profit statuses don't have that same requirements, okay? Thus, the league will be able to apply to INS, the United States Immigration and Naturalization Service, to be able to be classified the same as other minor leagues. So when a player plays in the Fed, they can be granted a P1 visa. Now, the impacts of this are important to the league being able to attract better overseas or Canadian players who might choose to play in the SPHL instead of playing in the Fed. This is a big step for them. If they can get this through for this upcoming season, it's great. Some of the people that I've talked to have said they may have started this process a little late for this upcoming season, but if they can do it for next season, this is big. This means players don't have to try to make SPHL teams. If they come to the FPHL and they make the team, it'll bring in a higher level talent pool to the Fed, which I think is a very good thing. So you raise the wages to get them to a point where they can actually report those wages to the U.S. government, and then the U.S. government in turn will then give and grant these P1 visas to the players. So it's very interesting. I think it was an important thing to talk about because we already know that Josh Fletcher had an issue trying to get in to the U.S. last year. He actually had to fly into Washington, D.C., and then he was driven up by Andreas up to Binghamton. It was a whole thing last year in November just to get him here, and he got here one day before he would have been suspended for the rest of the season by the league for not reporting. So this is a big step by the league to try to make the league better in the long run for the future.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, the league seems to keep taking steps in the right direction and just kind of making changes that are going to, in the long term, be just better all around for every team.
No, I totally think this is a good thing. I hope I've explained it well enough. If fans, you have any questions about this, you can obviously reach out to me and ask me, and I'll try to explain it as much as I can. I saw some people talking about it over on Gary's Fed League Flash Facebook page, and literally people were like going, well, there are a lot of players that in the Fed have a P1 visa. And that is correct. They either got that from a different league that they had played in, like the ECHL or the SPHL, because as soon as you play in one of those leagues for like one day or one game, or you're signed with them, you immediately are given and granted the access of a P1 visa. All you have to do is call up the INS. You tell them who you're working for, basically who your employer is at that point, and boom, they grant that for you. Or you apply for it and you get it. Or you got it because you went to college somewhere and you are still playing under that. But yes, there are players playing in the Fed that have a P1 visa, but they didn't get it because of playing in the Fed. They got it because they played somewhere else, or they have a different reason for getting it, but it wasn't because of playing in the Fed. So I just want to throw that out there. It's very important. It's very convoluted. It's hard to explain in some cases, but I think it's important.
I think you explained it fairly well. I mean, I understand what you're saying, so that's got to say something. No. Well,
sometimes I feel like I talk in circles to try to explain things, and so, which is good. All right, so this is Taylor's take number one. And what does this mean? Taylor, I'm going to throw something at her way, and I'm going to try to make sure she has more than 24 hours. In this particular case, she's had a week and 8 days to kind of look at this and think about this and give us her take. So, Taylor, take number one, and we'll kind of count these up as we do them. And I'm going to give you one. You know, whenever I think of something, we're like, I really want to know what Taylor thinks about this. And in this particular case, this might be like a vanity thing or something, or whatever. But either way, I want your take on this. The Watertown's Wolves have rebranded and added a bunch of red and changed the logo. Yay or nay? Taylor, what's your take?
I've circled this for I think since they've done it. I've seen a lot of back and forth on Facebook. I've heard a lot of people go back and forth on it. Jeremy does not like it. He's not a fan.
Okay.
I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm kind of indifferent about it, I guess.
Oh.
I think the red is going to be shocking, but I think that's mostly because we're just used to them being blue and white.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just adding another like BAM color is going to be really shocking, especially for that arena.
Yeah.
Because that arena alone is just kind of like, it's one color. It seems like it seems, I don't know. I think the red is definitely going to make it pop, if that makes any sense. But as far as the rebrand and people kind of like freaking out about it, I kind of look at it like, the Wolves have been in it for quite a while, longer than the Bears have been. But if you look at our first season and compare it to like even last season, we didn't have a rebrand by any means, but we changed the logo, the fonts, the jerseys.
Yeah.
We've done similar things, just not a complete rebrand.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
They're hardly the first team to do that this season. I mean, you got Mississippi Seawolves are now the Biloxi Breakers, and you've a couple more new teams to add in here. So it's not totally unreasonable. I see like the appeal of doing it.
What do you think?
I definitely feel indifferent about it.
What do you think of the font that they used for the new, where it says Watertown Wolves?
I think it's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of most of the other teams' fonts when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to jerseys. I'm so picky about jerseys. It's not even funny. All
right.
I feel pretty different about it.
I do like the crescent logo. So I guess the secondary logo where it's the kind of like the crescent and everything. I like that. I don't know, because they changed the wolf a little bit, right? That's
the part that I think people are having a hard time with.
Yeah, the wolf changed, right? It's like it's a different wolf now. It's like the one wolf died and the new wolf came into its place, and we're all like, wait, you're not the same wolf that has been eating out of my garbage can for the past 15 years. What happened to the original wolf, right? So I think that makes it a little bit different. And I think the red just throws people off, right? But you think if they put some of that red up in the arena, that'll be good for the arena?
I think so. Have you ever been to their arena?
No, I have not. I don't.
It's pretty small, and it just seems, I don't know if it's because it's just kind of like, I don't want to say dull, because I feel like that's kind of like a negative look at it, but it just seems like that's the feeling when you walk in there, and that it's just like,
it's
lackluster, I guess.
Like builder grade, right? Like,
yes.
Right? Because that's what they call it sometimes when you go into a brand new home and the designer hasn't done anything. It's just, this is builder grade, right? So it's like that builder beige or that builder gray type of thing. That's what you're basically saying is it's builder grade. They haven't really thrown any color on it yet.
Yeah, it just you kind of walk in and it just seems like it's all just one thing in there. There doesn't seem like there's any kind of like pop of anything. Like if you walk into our arena, we've got the red chairs, the green jerseys, these jerseys. There's everything.
There's color everywhere.
Yeah.
way too much color. Maybe we need to scale back to color in Binghamton. I mean, come on. No, I don't think that. No, we used to have blue chairs or blue seats in Binghamton, and then they became red. I don't know what they were in the Duster days. I don't know. Maybe they were blue in the Duster days, even though the Dusters weren't blue. But they changed them to red in the Senators days when they got the new chair and the new seats in. They wanted the red to be there for the Senators. So maybe we need the county and the state to give us some money to put some green chairs in there. Repolster all the chairs. No, because the chairs are still in good condition. You can't get rid of the chairs in Binghamton. So that's interesting. I like it. Good take on that. An indifferent take. Okay, so that's what we're going to go with. So her first take was indifferent. No yay or no nay on there. Just indifferent. All right, let's get to the interview with Don Olivieri and get that done. So then we'll kind of talk a little bit about our thoughts on the Don Olivieri and Chris Mott situation. I'll provide a little bit more insight from the things that I kind of know, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll give you our thoughts. But fans, coming up next here on the Power Play Post Show is one of your favorites. It's the Don father, Don Olivieri. We'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers. Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show Season 15 debut, episode number 1. And I figured, well, seeing that we couldn't have Dylan on the show yet, we will get Dylan on, and you'll get to hear Dylan's news pretty quickly. I figured, why not do a summertime chat with everybody's favorite godfather of Binghamton, or Don Father of Binghamton, Donald Olivieri. Don, welcome back to the show. Happy midsummer. I guess we're getting close to the end of summer. I don't know where we are in the summertime process here, but I hope you're having a great summer, and welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Bob. It's always a pleasure being on the show with you.
Listen, just recently you played in a little bit of a tournament, playing some hockey in the summertime, which you haven't done the last couple of years. And you did that with Jesse Anderson, Tyson Kirkby, Brant Sherwood. You guys played on a team down in Philly. I think Checking for Charities is what you called it. Tell me a little bit about Checking for Charities and the team and how you guys did.
Checking for Charity tournament's probably one of the biggest charity tournaments in Jersey every year. They have several divisions. Players from all over come and play, and it's also a good time because you see a lot of your buddies you haven't seen in a long time, and it's nice catching up with them. And it was the first year that I got to play with Kirk, Sando, and Sherwood in the summer. They decided to come down and play, and we all got together in the same team, and it was a good time. It was fun watching Sherwood put the skates back on and pad up.
Now, it's called Checking for Charities. Was there real checking in this tournament?
No. I mean, there's some outs here and there. I mean, some games kind of got chippy. We had a fight in one of our games.
Ooh. But did Jersey drop the gloves?
No, Jersey was just having a good old time, enjoying himself. But it was good. I mean, the competition's good, and you're playing for a good cause. Everybody knows that, but it's hockey. At the end of the day, it's going to get chippy, so everybody wants to win, and that's just how it is.
And you guys did make it to the championship game, correct?
We did make it to the championship. We fell a little short, but I was glad we made it with the team we had. I didn't really think we were going to do much, but I mean, we came together and had a good time and did all we could.
How did it feel to get back on the ice again? And was it kind of nice to get on the ice and actually play a game with Jersey again? Because it's been a while.
Yeah. Lacing the skates up again. It's been fun. I play a lot of softball in the summer. I don't really think about hockey too much. And I have, the family and stuff, but playing 5 games in 3 days was different. I haven't done that probably since I was like 13 years old, but the body held up nice. I felt good. Playing with Sherwood was a blast because me and him, we were just bringing up old times. We had a guy on our team, Mark Pataccio, that played with us in Mississippi, and he was in our Check for Charity team too. So we were talking about the good old Mississippi days and just having some pops and having a good time.
Now, obviously, you heard that the Mississippi Seawolves kind of changed their name to the Biloxi Breakers. A lot of change going down there in Mississippi. Why is Mississippi such a great place for players to, go play? I mean, obviously, it's not a hockey city like Binghamton is, but it's a great place to go play. You know a little bit about the Mississippi, the Gulf Coast when it comes to hockey. Why is that such a great place for people to go play?
Biloxi, I actually got the chance to go out there that weekend and play with the guys. And I mean, that's a good spot. It's great weather. There's a beach there. There's a casino there. There's a lot of things to do. And you'd be surprised how much the South loves hockey. My first year in Mississippi, I kind of didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't really think hockey was in the South, but, people love it. They take care of the guys. The food's incredible down there, no matter where you go to eat. It's just a great spot. And like I said, at the end of the day, I think the weather is the most appealing in Mississippi and in the southern parts.
Now, if we take Binghamton out of there, what is your favorite location that was your home franchise? Is it Mississippi? Is it Biloxi? Or is there another city where you played that you could say, man, that's the place where if I could play like one more game, I would do it there again?
That's hard. I've been around and it's hard to say. I had a really, really great time in Norfolk, Virginia. We were living on the beach. Me and Sherwood lived together, and the house was a mansion on the beach, so we couldn't complain about that. The everything's just right there. You got the beach, the strip of all the bar, food places. I think that's probably one of the best places. That or my 2 weeks I had in Pensacola during the playoff run. Nothing could beat Pensacola. I mean, that place is incredible. The beach, there's when spring breaks there, it just all the food there. There's bars left and right for the guys after games and stuff. So that's probably one of the most fun places I played at. But I think Norfolk was probably my favorite. So
what I'm gathering here is if there's a hockey arena on the beach, Don Olivieri will be there.
Yeah, I mean, getting out of practice and going to hang out on the beach or going to walk down a strip of bars and restaurants, you can't beat it. You can't really have a bad day anywhere down there because once you leave the rink, it's kind of like a mini paradise.
Yeah, but Don, you're a family guy now, so that's over for you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it's been over.
So how is Jordy doing? How is your little one? I think she's going to be 2 in December, right? In November?
November, yeah. She's doing good, man. She's a riot. She's started to talk better. We're starting to understand her more, and she's just a goofball, man. It's just every single day she has you smiling and cracking up. And this coming Saturday, we're actually going down on vacation for a week to the beach with me, my family, my brothers, all my nieces. So everybody's getting together. So that should be a fun time bringing her down there. And she went down last year, but she wasn't really moving too much. So I'm kind of excited and nervous to see what she does on the beach now, but I can't wait. I'm just counting down the days.
Now, is there going to be a time? Okay, so I guess my question is this. Is she going to pick up? Because I know Allie loves to, shoot with a camera or be shot with a camera. So do you think that Jordy is going to pick up a camera first or get on skates first?
I don't know. I mean, Alyssa definitely wants her to get on skates. We've talked about it, and, she's always been wanting me to take her on skates, but I think it's still too early for her, but
it's a little still too early. I mean, I didn't get on skates until I was 3. I think you were probably around the same age too. But
no, I was actually 7.
7.
Yeah. So
were you a ball player first before? Did we never talk about this? I didn't know this. So you didn't get on skates until you were 7 years old. Did you play ball beforehand?
Yeah. When I was younger, I played a little bit of everything, but I was more into baseball a lot. But like I said, my older brother played hockey, so I was always at the rink watching him play. And I think one day my dad just bought me a pair of skates, and we just started wheeling around and messing around. And I think ever since then, I kind of got hooked on hockey. And I still love baseball. I played a little bit in high school. I still played a little bit after high school. And then I think when hockey kind of started getting a little bit more serious, I kind of stopped playing baseball and focused more on hockey.
Right. And then like with baseball, you had so much of baseball when you were younger. When you started playing softball, there were a lot of similar things between baseball and softball, correct? Or is it really more different than I'm thinking it is?
I mean, the concept of the game obviously is the same.
Right.
3 outs.
Sure.
Softball, you play 7 innings. But the bats are different. You use composite bats. Obviously, the ball's bigger. You play with 5 infielders, 3 outfielders. So it's different. It's definitely. I mean, the ball's coming in an arc, so your swing's different than a baseball swing. So it definitely took me a while to get used to it. All my buddies, they played almost their whole lives, and I probably have only been playing like. I don't want to say serious softball, but like tournament softball probably for like about 3-4 years now. But all my buddies been playing for a while, so they kind of like they know more about it. But I'm kind of figuring stuff out, and it's definitely hard when you first start out for sure.
Has it fulfilled some of that sports fix that you need and that you're going to need once you're done with hockey officially?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. I was a little crazy last year. I was probably playing like six days a week, but I kind of toned it down. I'm only playing Saturdays and Sundays now, and kind of being home more and hanging out with Jordy and helping Jordy out because Alyssa got a new job. So it's nice. I mean, it's definitely nice. I mean, I don't know. It definitely takes the void out a little bit, but it's nothing like full contact, you know, getting in people's faces, being in the locker room with the boys. There's just nothing like it.
Yeah, but you can hit a home run or drive in a run and still kind of motion to the other players, can't you? Right? I mean, you can still kind of like.
Yeah, it's just not the same, man. Hockey players we're just a different breed when we're together.
So if you did something kind of like that, like you do on the ice sometimes when you're looking at the other bench, if you did that, the softball players wouldn't handle it as well as the hockey players would, right?
Honestly, softball guys are a little bit more crazy than hockey players. They're wild. I've seen more fights in softball than I have in hockey, honestly.
So they might charge you if you did something.
They'll definitely talk some trash and try and get in your head or start something stupid that doesn't need to be started. But I mean, at the end of the day, I look at it, we all laugh because we all say it's a girl sport and that's what we're playing.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, I wanted to ask this. What was Jordy's first word? What was her first word?
Oh, man. I don't know. She's been yapping for a while now. I'm pretty sure her first word was mama.
Really? Not hockey or dada?
Nah, it's mama. It took her a while to say dad, but it's okay. I mean, as long as she acknowledged my wife and called her mama, made my wife happy, that's all that matters to me.
That's fair. That's being a good husband. You know, happy wife, happy life, right? So that's
but now the baby just doesn't shut up. You know.
Really.
She's a yapper.
Well, you know what? I understand that she's a girl from my own heart because I'm definitely the same way and been that way since I probably started talking. So Don, this summer you played a little bit of softball, played a little bit of hockey. What other kind of things have you done this year that's been fun to kind of clear your mind from the hockey season?
Just working out as much as I can. That kind of clears the void of everything. When I'm stressed out or, a day's not going our way or something, I kind of just go to the gym and kind of just takes me away from the world for a couple hours. And whether I work out or just go for a jog or anything, it kind of clears my head, lets me reset and just, be thankful for what I have. And it makes me think of maybe some more goals that I want to make my life better and Jordy's life better and Alyssa's better. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I just work, and that's
you told
pretty much it.
You told me that going into playing this charity tournament that you were in a little bit better shape than maybe earlier this year because you lost a little bit of weight and everything. So that's been kind of nice too. At your age, because I know I should be thinking about it more at my age, getting into and staying in shape should be very important to people.
Yeah, for sure. And, the last couple of years, me playing, I probably wasn't in the best shape that I probably wanted to be in for hockey. And, that comes along with I don't get to practice every day and stuff like that. I have other obligations. But, now I kind of focused on, my weight, being a little bit healthier, laying off certain foods. And, and Alyssa's kind of been going on the same way with me. She's been eating better and, we don't order out as much and stuff like that. And it's making I feel better, not just physically, but like mentally, I feel better. And I'm just happy where I'm at. I probably want to lose a few more pounds, but right now I'm pretty happy with the way everything's going physically and mentally for me, and I can't ask for anything more.
Now, Don, one of the things that we've talked about in the past is the potential and the possibility of you becoming a paid firefighter down there. Because the work that you do now, okay, it's fine. It's paying the bills. It's helping you guys get through in life, but it's not what you want to do. You have this call to service. I know you're working hard towards that. You and I have had many conversations off air, and we don't need to go into too many details. But you are getting potentially close to becoming a paid firefighter. Have you thought about that next chapter in your life where you not only are you a father and a husband and a family man, right? But you are also going to potentially be somebody that, we might call you a hero because of the stuff you do on the ice, but you're going to be a real life hero potentially going into dangerous situations. Have you thought about that chapter of your life?
Yeah, I think that's what the working out and, eating better and stuff. I think that's what pushed me to do it. Because if I do get that call one day, I don't want to be out of shape and, they look at me and say, like, why do we bring this guy in? I want to be in shape. I want to be ready for any call. I want the person looking at me, if I'm potentially saving somebody's life or helping somebody, I want them to look at me and be able to trust me and not have any second thoughts about, like, why they send this guy. Mm-hmm. So I think that the process of closing in is kind of helping me mentally and kind of getting my head on straight of what I would really want to do and how I really want to help my family, make my family better.
One of the things that I knew that I needed to ask you, that even a couple people said, hey, what's going on with, how's Millie?
She's good, man. She's running around a little bit, but she can't run as good as she used to. Mm-hmm. She is 9 years old. I mean, she's getting old for a dog, but she's still happy. I'm outside with her and Rory right now, and she looks like she has a big fat smile on her face. But I don't think she's too happy about the cat we adopted.
Oh,
the cat. He's kind of a little a-hole right now because he's younger, but
what's the cat? What's the cat's name?
Vito.
Vito. Okay. And what color is the cat? Because I know when I tell my wife that you have a cat, if I don't tell her all the details, because we're cat people in this house, we have 4 cats. One named Puck, one named Slash. Go figure, right? And then one is named Mo, and one is named Jeet, because we're both Yankee fans, and we wanted to name her 2 of our cats, at least that. So what color is the cat? What color is Fido?
He's all black. We actually.
Ooh.
It was my buddy. His cats had kittens, and Alyssa texted me right after she saw the post. She said, "Text me and say you're going to pick up a cat," without even talking to me. And I said, I just said okay. And he had a black and white one, but when I got there, the black and white one got adopted. So I took the all black one. But I think I picked the real a-hole. I'll tell you that.
Well, I have an all black cat and I love them. And I do have a tuxedo cat as well, black and white. So, and they're brothers. They're actually brothers, and they're great. We love them. And so that's pretty awesome. Give him time. He'll calm down. It usually takes a couple years for cats to kind of mellow out. Kind of like dogs, the first couple years are a little rambunctious and things of that nature. Plus there's a lot going on. There's baby Jordy, there's a dog there, it's like
Jordy torments that cat, man.
Yeah, but in a couple years they'll probably be like buddies and laying with each other and stuff. So
yeah,
that'll probably happen. That's awesome. So Don, obviously, the one thing that the fans have probably been waiting for about 19 minutes, as we've been recording here. What's the future look like for you for hockey, or do you still not know yet? We're in the middle of August, and I know there are 18 players right now signed with the Binghamton Black Bears. Your rights are held by the Topeka Scarecrows of Topeka, Kansas, and the fans are they kind of want to know what's on your mind. Do you want to play? What's going through your brain when it comes to this upcoming season?
Yeah, I mean, no matter how old I am, I'm always going to want to play, right? It's just it's in my blood. And when I start to see guys sign every year, and just when I think I'm done, I see these guys sign, and you kind of get that fire again. But I probably definitely thought about it more this year than I have last year for sure.
Really?
But with the whole the whole rights thing, like that doesn't bother me. I mean, me and Sherwood, we're always on the same page. We always know what's going on. I mean, he's pretty much told me I always have a spot on a team whenever if I want to play, if I ever decide to play. And, I appreciate that out of him. But I mean, just a lot's going on right now. I'm not going to know anything probably for another month or so. But
because it's not just about playing hockey for you, there's other things in your life that kind of affect whether or not you play or don't play. Correct?
Yeah. And especially, with this job I have now, I mean, if I got hurt at hockey, it wouldn't really affect it. I mean, I just, I work for a courier service, so I just got to drive and, deliver stuff, which wouldn't really affect me. Just if the firefighter thing does pan out, and, there's a side, like I told you earlier, that, if I get hurt off the job, it just, how's that going to affect me going to work, or how are they going to take it? And I don't, that's one of the biggest things that comes to my mind. But other than that, I mean, I'm always going to want to play. It's just the fact that everything has to work out, perfectly, and has to be the right time for me to be playing, me to make that decision. And right now I can't say I'm playing or not. It's just, I know for a fact I will be there for the home opener, though, whether I'm playing or not. I know that.
Well, I would hope so, because there's like this championship banner thing that's got to go up there, and it's the second one, and you need to be there to see that, regardless of what's going on. So I would expect you to be there for that. It's a strange position that you're in, right? Because if you tell Sherwood, yes, I'm playing, I want to come back, then he has to figure out a trade to get your rights. Because not that you have anything against the coaching staff, the players in Topeka, or even the city. You want to be close to home. If you're going to play, you want to be within this 2 to 3 hour drive between Philadelphia and Binghamton. It's the only way you can make this work at the moment. That's the way it is. But then Jersey has to figure out a trade, whether it's a multi-team trade, whether it's a direct trade. There would have to be something that would happen there. And that kind of weighs on your decision probably a little bit as well, right?
Yeah, and I, like I said, I've talked to Sherwood about it, and we know with hockey, we know a trade would have to happen, and we both understand that. But I mean, I told him, I don't want to mess up any chemistry with the team. I don't want to, him trade somebody away just to get me. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So I mean, we're on the same page as that too. And if no trades work out and he can't get my rights, I told him it's not the end of the world. We can figure out something else down the line. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to be a burden to him or the team. I don't want my rights being on their mind, while they're getting ready for season. I don't want that to be a thing. Yeah. Obviously I want them to be successful, and I want them to win another championship, whether that's with me or without me. But I mean, we both know what's got to happen, and whether it does or it doesn't, I'm always going to support the team, and I'm always going to be here with the team. And like I said, me and Sherwood talk all the time, so we're always on the same page. We know what's going on, and we'll just see what happens in another month or two, and we'll go from there.
Don, we've talked about your relationship with the fans a lot. Your fans, the fans in Binghamton. What is it about this relationship between you and the fans that just seems so like you probably played the least amount of games of anybody who's been on the team for the past 4 years, and yet you're probably one of the most popular guys with the fans. Have you figured that part out yet? Why the fans just kind of like have gravitated to you the most? I mean, I know it's the big smile. I know there's some of the actions on the ice that people love. You have a great shot. But have you kind of like thought about, the fans in Binghamton really took to me very well, maybe even more so than almost in any other place that you've played?
With minor league sports, I mean, it's all about the fans. I mean, they they don't have to come watch us. We're not the NHL, you know, and they go out of their way and spend money to get them and their families to watch us play. And, you know, it's just an appreciation thing for the players. I mean, like, obviously the players, we love playing in front of a ton of fans, right? Like that's every hockey player, every baseball player's goal is to play in front of a ton of fans. And, you know, like I said, they don't have to come. It's not an NHL team, you know, but it's just an appreciation thing for us, that we appreciate the fans for showing up for us every single night. And, you know, and it makes us want to put a show on for them and try and keep them as entertained as possible. And you know, try and interact with them as much as we can. I mean, that's why the team does as much as they do off the ice, is to keep in touch with the fans. And, you know, I still talk to fans here and there, and, you know, whether I'm playing or not, I still keep in touch. I mean, my little buddy Zane was in Philly the other day, and I happened to stop by, and I met with him at the zoo, just to stop by and say hi and see how he was doing. And, you know, it's just an appreciation thing, man. Like I said, they go out of their way to watch us play, and it just, like, we love it, and it's kind of, we want to return, you know, the love back to them, which they're giving to us.
Well, regardless of what happens this upcoming season, if you come back and play 30 games, great. I'll call it the retirement tour, because you won't, and I'll force you into it. But if not, I just hope at least one game where you can come out, do everything that you do on the ice. The fans can say goodbye, or whatever it may be. Maybe it's in 2 years. I don't know. But you're one of those guys. It's just weird, Don. I don't know why I'm saying this, but it feels like you're one of those guys where you should get that proper send off when you're ready to. I'm not pushing you out the door. But I'm just saying that you should be given that right. And it really does come back to the whole expansion draft and you getting picked up. And I'm like thinking to myself, I wish, you know, that didn't happen, because then the decision is a lot easier for you either way.
Yeah. I mean, like I said to you earlier, I mean, I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish in hockey. I mean, I never thought a day in my life I would go play college, play college hockey. I never thought I would play pro. I never thought I'd play in the East Coast for as long as I did. And I'm just thankful for everything that I did. I'm thankful for what my parents did for me. And, you know, winning those 2 championships were kind of the icing on the cake for me. But, you know, trying to run it back for that third, I mean, that'd be one hell of a story. But at the end of the day, I mean, whether I play or not, whether Topeka gives up my rights or not, I mean, I'm happy with what I accomplished. I'm happy with all the guys that I've met in Binghamton. I'm happy with all the fans I met in Binghamton. Binghamton's always going to be part of my family. And even if I'm not playing, I'll still be around. I'll still come up on weekends and watch games and, you know, talk to the fans and stuff. But I'm not going to let, you know, a team having my rights kind of decide my fate, you know,
or your happiness for that matter. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
and you got to be on the best podcast in minor league hockey ever. So that's pretty cool too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I mean, I'm hoping I'll get on another time too after this, whether I'm playing or not. But
absolutely.
Nah, like I said, I'm not gonna let the whole rights thing or whatever determine my happiness. I'm pretty content with my hockey career and what I did, and like I said, all the Binghamton guys I met and stuff. So, I mean, do I wish I was younger when I started playing for Binghamton? Yeah, I think it'd have been way more fun living with the guys and practice with them day in and day out. But unfortunately, it came a little later in my career. But I'm as happy as I can be.
Well, I look at it this way. When you're officially done, we'll do a little segment on the show being, what did Schurzy do this week? Right. And we can do a little reaction audio of Brant Sherwood doing something crazy in his coaching career. So we'll just plan to do something silly like that. That'll get you back on. And either at the end of each segment, Brant will be pissed at us or he'll be laughing with us. probably laughing more so than pissed, but either way, we can definitely do something like that. Don, thank you so much as always for coming on and talking to us. And just every time I send you a text, you always respond back very quickly. I really appreciate that. I appreciate our friendship. And I was actually close to you just recently, almost in Philly. I literally almost texted you and said, I know we can't meet at the moment, but I am like probably 10 miles away from you. So
whenever you're in town, let me know. We'll go grab a cheesesteak or something. And
like you can take me to a good place, right? A good cheesesteak place, not
nice little hidden gem.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Don, thank you so much for coming on. I totally appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. And like I said, I listen to your podcast. I think it's every Thursday it drops.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to it all the time. My wife giggles every time I put it on. I'm kind of a super fan of you and Binghamton, so that's just how it is.
Well, I very much appreciate that. And we will talk to you obviously soon, no matter what happens this upcoming season. We hope to know more within the next couple months. And if anything, you're either going to be sitting there watching the Flyers or the Binghamton Black Bears. It kind of depends on, if you're playing for us or, sitting there at home watching games.
Yeah, and exactly. And I'll, whether I'm playing or not, I'll see everybody there, home opener. Unless anything crazy changes in my schedule, I'll be there. So
Awesome. He is Don Olivieri, and we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. That was Don Olivieri. I want to thank Don for always, just talking to me and getting in touch, especially when I text him. Don's a great guy, and let's hope that he makes a decision very soon. But Taylor, really what it comes down to is we need to talk about Olivieri and Mott.
Yeah, so keeping on with Don Olivieri and Chris Mott, let's talk a little bit about their situation. I know a lot of fans are kind of hoping or pulling for that a trade might happen to get one or both of them back. But realistically, it just might not happen.
Yeah.
Chris Mott.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll give you my thoughts afterwards.
All right. Chris Mott may have to play in Topeka, though if he's not going to play in Binghamton, might be looking into playing in the SPHL. Mm-hmm. And Don might be forced to retire because, as most everybody knows, he does not want to play anywhere but Binghamton.
Yeah, I mean, the situation is, and I've talked to Don privately, I've talked to Brant Sherwood privately, the trade to get either one of these guys back is going to be very difficult. It just really is. Robbie Nichols is a shrewd general manager when it comes to pro hockey. If you don't know who Robbie Nichols is, you need to look him up. He's played at the highest level in minor pro hockey in the AHL. He's owned a team in the ECHL. He has coached in a couple different levels of hockey, and he thinks that he is a smart, savvy hockey guy, and he very may well be. But he also is kind of like trying to kind of force everybody's hand here. If Don wants to come back, then Brant has to, jump through hoops maybe to get a trade going. And it's nothing that Brant can really do but kind of work out some details, maybe with other teams. But then Don also might just want to decide to retire as well. Chris Mott might be forced because I was hearing there were some pretty high levels of expectation from Robbie Nichols to get someone like Chris Mott back. And it's unfortunate, too, because I think this is an FPHL problem. This is a problem that the league has kind of put into place with these expansion drafts. Well, it's great that you do this once every 3 or 4 or 5 years, but it seems like, Taylor, every single year there are new teams. There's always an expansion draft, and some of these coaches that work very hard to bring players in. And we're talking about even guys in Port Huron, all the good work that they've done there in Port Huron, the good work that they did down in Athens. They still have guys taken away in these expansion drafts, and it's unfortunate because it puts certain players in certain situations. And I'll be honest, Robbie Nichols knew what he was doing when he took Don Olivieri, because he knew that if Don was going to choose to come back this season, he's not going to play anywhere else but Binghamton. Logistically, it's just easier. He has a full-time job. And number two, his best friend in the league is Brant Sherwood. So it's unfortunate, but fans, I think you need to get prepared to either not see Don again on the ice, even though he'll be in Binghamton. He promised he'll be in Binghamton for the banner raising ceremony either way, but you also may not see Chris Mott as a Binghamton Black Bear as well. And that is something that you have to get ready for. Just like Kyle Steffen may not come back. Just like there's a decision to make for a couple other players, like Poirier maybe won't be back. Like CJ Hapward made that decision. You have to be prepared for the Don father might not be playing.
Yeah, I think the expansion drafts kind of, I understand them to a certain aspect, but at the same time, it just seems like in this situation that it's not helpful for either team.
Yeah.
I mean, you picked up these two guys, but reality is you might get one, you're not going to get Don.
Right.
So you're just kind of like using it as bait, and it's not a good look, in my opinion.
I agree. It's not a good look. And I think something that Don said to me, and this is one that I feel okay to share, because it's something that you just said there. It's not a good look, right? And Don said that, when you kind of make a move like picking him in the expansion draft, when everybody knew that Don isn't going to play anywhere but in Binghamton, but you're going to try to use him as trade bait, no one's going to want to work with you. No one's going to really want to make deals with you because they know what you just did to Binghamton and to Don. You're kind of forcing him to retire, or for Brant Sherwood to have to burn the whole place down to bring the Don father back. And I don't think Don will let Brant do that. It's a bad look for Robbie Nichols. It's a bad look for Topeka in this situation.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Dakota Bohn signs with an APHL team. This upcoming season, we'll see some changes for the Binghamton Black Bears and for a few other players, including Dakota Bohn. Dakota, for family reasons, which I think Courtney and Dakota would be okay with me saying they're starting their family. Okay, so that's really what it comes down to. They're starting their family, and they couldn't be happier. I mean, I see them on all their socials, couldn't be happier, and I'm very happy for them. And they want to be closer to home, and has decided to sign with the APHL's Ridgetown Royals. I wouldn't rule out Dakota playing again for the Black Bears in the future, but at this time, I do not see him starting the season in Binghamton. The impacts of this, which we wish the best for Dakota and Courtney as they start a very new and exciting chapter in their lives. But you know what? I mean, this is a big hit, Taylor, for the Binghamton Black Bears. Congratulations to Courtney and Dakota. We're happy for you. But when you think about the best offensive defenseman in the league the last 2 years, it's going to be tough to not have Dakota on this team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's definitely been at top tier for this team. And him and Stone together, it's just they have been a pair to be reckoned with for the defensive line. And it's definitely going to be tough to see Stone matched with somebody else. But as heartbreaking as it is, it's also very exciting at the same time. It's just one of those things where you're very sad for the team, but you're also very happy for the player.
Oh, absolutely. Very happy for Dakota and Courtney, but it's one of those things where it's a challenge for Brant Sherwood now, right? The challenge is do you change the way you think when it comes to defensive play? Because now you don't have that guy. Listen, Dakota Bohn probably saw more time on the ice than any player on this team the last 2 years, right? Because, other than maybe Tyson Kirkby, Dakota Bohn was out there a lot. And same with Dan Stone. So who do you put with him? Do you change the way the defense plays, right? Do you go from offense and a defenseman together, or do you start pairing up two defensemen that are going to stay home and protect that blue line completely? Or do you try to find another offensive guy to put with them? Does Scott Ramakers become that guy on the first line with Dan Stone? Or does Jesse Anderson move up there, right? Jesse's got another year of experience, year and a half of experience playing defense. He's got some offensive skills. Do you put him up there, give him a little bit more playing time? Or do you give the young guy, Scott Ramakers, that time up there? It's a very interesting challenge for Brant Sherwood to figure that out going into camp before the season starts.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the good things about several players on this team is you can kind of pick and plug them where you need them and they can excel in that position.
It'd be interesting. Or do they find, or does he go out and find another defenseman to bring in? And, we talked about this in the opening segment. That's what I'm kind of worried about a little bit is like, do you go and have to now find somebody? And, maybe he thought he was going to get Dakota back and, they were back and forth and then Dakota makes the decision to do this. Does Brant now have to go look for another top end defenseman to put in that place? Or does he think I've got everything I need right now? I don't know. It's a challenge. But this is a good one. This is a good one for Brant because last year kind of went really smoothly. I know that behind the scenes, there's always I got to work with this player on this. I got to work on this player on this. Oh, but you won 49 games. So was it really that difficult? Right. But I think this provides a challenge he hasn't seen in a couple years.
So you think that last season was too easy for Brant and he's got to have some challenges this upcoming season?
Well, I mean,
got to test him a little bit.
Listen, I know that Danbury is always a challenge for them, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about next. But yeah, kind of. Why don't you go through the Nikita Ivashkin story? Because I think this is very, very interesting because I think this becomes part of the story about Danbury and Binghamton that maybe kind of continues the rivalry a little bit.
Alrighty. So as we've kind of hinted and mentioned a couple of times, Ivashkin could be back and playing hockey. If you've noticed or if you've followed any of the Hat Tricks postings or the many other postings on other sites, you would see that the Danbury Hat Tricks announced the signing of former Binghamton Black Bears forward Nikita Ivashkin. Ivashkin played for Binghamton in 125 games, scoring 109 goals, 87 assists for 196 points, still ranking in the top 5 for all 4 categories in franchise history. His departure from the Black Bears was followed up with him playing 19 games for the Blue Ridge Bobcats in the 23-24 season, scoring 9 goals and 7 assists. He did not play in North America last season, but seemingly has decided to come back to the North American hockey scene.
So questions about this signing. Let's talk about this for a little bit. What kind of shape and ability will Nikita be in for the games after not playing last season? He did not appear to play in any real pro league in Russia or in Europe during the 24-25 season. What will his visa be like here in the States? 6 months, full season? Will he be able to get back into the country and to play for how long? And then the Black Bears and the Hat Tricks play 16 times this season. How will Nikita be a factor against his former teammates? Will there be any animosity, respect, or how will the reaction be? Nikita could muck it up against his opponents. Could he be a distraction for the Black Bears? Let's talk about a couple of those questions, okay? Now, we don't know what kind of shape or ability. He's a young guy. That might be something where he needs to come into training camp, get a little bit of that the skating, the legs going again, that type of stuff. So that might take a little bit. I mean, he's got a great shot. I don't think he's going to lose the shot for not playing hockey. He might have been in like some men's league over in Russia. So he might have some of his skills, that he just needs to sharpen up a little bit, right? But what's interesting is we already talked about the visa situation, right? What will he be able to do? How long can he be here? That's an interesting thing. We don't know the answers to that. We don't know if he'll even be able to get into the thing. However, Taylor, what is your thoughts on, does he have an effect in the rivalry between Binghamton? Now, because when he played in Blue Ridge, no games against Blue Ridge Bobcats. Okay, so Binghamton and Blue Ridge did not play that first year that Blue Ridge was in, that he was with them. But Danbury and Binghamton are going to play each other 16 times. I think that could be a factor in this whole rivalry between the two teams. What are your thoughts on that?
I see your point on that, but at the same time, it's been a couple years since he's played with Binghamton. It's been a couple years since they've seen him play. And a lot of the guys that he played with don't necessarily play for Binghamton anymore. There's still only, I don't know, 6, 7 guys that still play for the team that remember Nikita or played with him. Mm-hmm. I don't see it being as much of an issue as people think it's going to be. Maybe the first game or so, I could see it, I see more animosity, but I think that's just because I think that's what they've been working on the past several years, is kind of having just, I don't know, more respect for people than going out there and trying to cause issues in my aspect. Mm-hmm. I think Brant's kind of really changed the way of the team handling things compared to Brant taking care of the situation, where Brant would much rather him get in trouble for something than somebody on the team getting in trouble for it. Okay.
That's interesting. I do wonder, with the mindset that the Danbury Hat-Tricks are kind of trying to change, trying to bring back their old mob style of hockey play, with Galante in charge and bringing in Jesse Swanson, who's, kind of can muck it up a little bit. And I remember Nikita being able to muck it up, and he would actually raise his elbow and get that up high and get a couple elbowing calls and kind of get into the gritty, dirty stuff. I wonder if there's going to be an impact here. If there's going to be some sort of, like, Nikita knows how Brant coaches, whether or not he can get that to whoever the head coach is going to be in Danbury, I don't know. I would really love to be a fly on the wall when Johnny Ruiz found out that Nikita Ivashkin was signed. Whether or not he was happy, whether or not he was indifferent, to use your terms a little bit about the Watertown Wolves logo, or whether or not he was like, are you effing kidding me? This guy really, do we need this distraction? I mean, because he could end up being a big distraction for the Danbury Hat-Tricks.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And on the same line of, is he going to be an issue for the players on our team? Like, is it going to be, is he going to distract them? You could flip that around easily and say he's going to be a distraction on their team. Yeah. Because Danbury does have a couple former Binghamton Black Bears who also played with Nikita. So I think it's kind of like a flip of a coin here.
Yeah. Josh Newberg, MJ Merkel, who's part of the coaching staff, he was there. What has been the reaction been like with the Danbury Hat-Trick fans?
They've definitely, I've only talked to one personally, but it seems the feeling that I'm getting from it is that they seem shocked by it. They definitely didn't see it coming, is what I got from the person that I had talked to. They were, I guess, just kind of like taken back that they certainly never thought that it would happen.
Now, I am friends with one of the Danbury Hat-Tricks fans as well. He and I both share our love for the New York Rangers, which is really more we commiserate about the New York Rangers. And I did ask him about it as well. And he said he's not going to cheer for him. If he scores a hat trick in a game, he's not going to stand up and cheer for Nikita. I think there's a lot of people who cannot separate what might have happened off the ice with anything that happens on the ice when it comes to Nikita Ivashkin. And I don't know. He's a very polarizing figure now because he's still in the top 5 for all the major offensive categories for the Binghamton Black Bears. I mean, he was prolific with how he could score and what he could do on the ice. And I think that's alluring. There have been players in all levels of hockey who have done things badly, who still have come back and played because the lure of having their talents on your ice. There was a guy for the Cincinnati Bengals that killed a guy, spent 28 or 30 days in jail, and people still wanted to bring him back. Michael Vick did all the things that he did with dogs in the dog fighting ring. He was invited back to play in the NFL because the talent sometimes oversees anything that anyone has when it comes to morals and values and all these other things. People just don't. When it's a business and you're making money, you sometimes kind of ignore those things a little bit. And it's interesting. It's an interesting topic. I'm not saying there's a right answer or a wrong answer or what can you do and how do we justify or not justify. It's just the way it is because sports is a business along with being a sporting event.
I think the difference between the people that you have just named and in this league is the fan interaction between higher leagues isn't nearly as big as it is in this league.
Oh, but Nikita's not going out and signing autographs. Let's be honest. Well,
I'm just saying, I think we look at these guys as if they're basically gods in the sense that people would do anything for them almost.
Right.
But at the same time, just being able to go down after a game and just spend time with these guys is not something that you would get in a higher league. And I think that's why people kind of, I guess, look at how you do things off the ice more in a scrutiny kind of way, where they very closely watch what you're doing, and it can definitely, I guess, ruin a career or really set the tone for your career and just make it harder.
Yeah, I think it's something that his legacy is going to be really weird because, he set the bar pretty high when it came to offense here in Binghamton. He did it very quickly, getting to the numbers that he got, which also put him in the upper parts of Binghamton hockey history. Tyson has now surpassed all of his records. But, and a couple other guys are starting to nip on his heels as well, like Austin Thompson, Gavin Yates, Jesse Anderson, at least for games played. So they're nipping on his tails, but they've also had to play a little bit longer. He's very prolific on the ice. And I think the question for Danbury is this: will the risk deem a reward that was worth it when it's all said and done? Right? Will they win a championship with Nikita Ivashkin on the ice? That'll be the interesting part. That's their story this year. Their story is a lot of change. Do they win a championship? Bringing in someone like Nikita Ivashkin, having Josh Newberg on that team again, a guy who's willing to drop the gloves with rookies, which is really crazy to me if you think about it. But that's what he did last year. He did it in a few different games against Binghamton and a couple other teams where he was just willing to take on guys who were just making their marks in the league. It'll be interesting. I also wonder, Taylor, does this really set up for some crazy games between Binghamton and Danbury?
People would say they're always crazy no matter what. So is it going to be worse? Maybe, maybe not. I think maybe the first game or two, if he ends up actually coming and playing, it might be a little bit interesting, but I truly don't see it being, that the thing that's sticking in the back of the neck the whole season. I don't see it happening.
Gotcha. I think in your opinion, and maybe I'm surmising this right, maybe I'm not, you don't think he's going to be much of a factor in any silliness or shenanigans that will occur between Binghamton and Danbury. But he could be a factor on the ice in, scoring or whatever, but not necessarily shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. And I'm the complete opposite. I think somehow something crazy is going to happen between Binghamton and Nikita Ivashkin. I don't know why. I just have that gut feeling. So it'll be interesting. We'll have to cut this little segment and then replay it at the end of the year and see who was right. Listen, if Nikita plays in all 16 games against Binghamton this upcoming season, I guarantee you he has at least 10 or 12 goals against us. I do. I know that says I don't have faith in Binghamton. This guy is dynamic on the ice. And unless somehow we can shut him down, it'll be very interesting. But I think he can score that many goals against us.
See, you said the same thing last year. I remember this conversation very clearly. We talked about Ford. And you said he's guaranteed to get 2 goals tonight, and Connor McNanama shut them out.
Oh, that's true.
And he didn't get a single goal.
That's true. Yes, CMAC proved me wrong, and the obviously the rest of the guys on the ice did as well. But you know what? I mean, part of what I do here is we talk about this. I can't say that Binghamton's going to win every game. Right. And yet last year they almost won every single game. It's crazy to think, but they almost won every single game last year. But I can't say that. Being somebody who's doing this, I can't say that. I have to say Stephen Ford's a great player, right? And Gus Ford is very good. And I think he has a good chance at scoring against us because he's done it in the past. He didn't last year and made me look like a fool. So I had to eat crow on that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's a ton of talent out there on different teams and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just, as several people have said, that McNanama is just a beast. So,
well, and you know what? When I've heard some of the other teams like Monroe and Parker kind of boast about what they've done in Monroe and how they're the franchise. Listen, you haven't beat the Black Bears yet. Right? Go to the finals, beat the Black Bears, and then you can kind of brag a little bit. But you haven't done that yet. And once you do that, then that's fine. Now, I'm allowed to kind of question whether or not Binghamton can be, great or anything. But I have to be subjective or objective a little bit, right? I have to be objective in some cases. Yeah, I know, I'll still sit there and say to them, beat Binghamton first, then you can say you're the model franchise in the FPHL. This is a team last year that's kind of boasted about how great they did. They didn't even make the playoffs. So it's kind of I'm not throwing shade. I'm trying not to throw shade. I'm just saying Binghamton is the model franchise in Binghamton in the FPHL. It's got the best fans in the FPHL. I've chronicled that multiple times. You go from the AHL to the FPHL, and you basically lead this league in a lot of the attendance categories. One team cheated to kind of break that record 2 years ago, and that was Baton Rouge. And now Monroe did a really good job last year. But until you kind of also follow that up with play on the ice and then winning, come talk to me later.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I just think that people want anything to dislike Binghamton for, so they'll say whatever they got to say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, great job today. Great job. Good season 15 debut number 1 episode. Very good job. All right. The Power Play Post Show is available on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on your favorite app, and don't forget to subscribe. And Taylor, which one do you listen to it on?
I've done a couple. I've done Apple, and I've done
Spotify.
What was the other one? Yes.
Oh,
yep. I've done those too.
I've actually listened to the show a couple times on YouTube. Don't ask me why. I just clicked it on there. It's like, hey, well, there it is. But I do know a few of our dedicated fans do it on YouTube. And I know a fan just recently asked if we have it on Pandora, and I got to figure out how to get it on Pandora. I like to put it on Spotify, and Spotify puts it out on all the other ones. So I have to figure out if I can do that through Spotify. So I'll try to do that. All right. Join the conversation on Facebook, search Power Play Post Show, and become a part of our community. Be sure to like, comment, and share our latest episodes with your friends. Looking for everything Binghamton Hockey? Visit binghamtonhockey.net. Go to your go-to source for stats, history, and all things Binghamton Hockey. Thank you to Rob Lapolis, our MC, John Petitucci, our musical director, again, and Binghamton Black Bears for Donald Olivieri. I am Bob Howard. She is
Taylor Welch.
And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Petitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.